You know, you dreamed of it, like you get drafted, you hang out with your family, you fly out to go to your team the next day. None of that. Derrick Brown, defensive tackle, drafted in the 2020 draft class, 7th overall.
Carolina Panthers select Derrick Brown, defensive tackle, Auburn.
Went to the combine, and then, they start, chirping about COVID. So the draft got canceled going to Vegas. I didn't know what to expect, the draft being moved, all these different things happening. I mean, it was, constant being on the phone and just trying to figure out what was going on. And then I think the day of the draft was the most silent day. Ended up doing the draft from my house. NFL had a whole plan and sent cameras and stuff to the house. So we filmed from the house through phones. It was crazy. You only have a certain amount of people in your house. Like, it was all these rules and stuff going on. It was just kind of a day I spent, honestly, sitting at my parents' house, really just sitting there by myself, like waiting until 7 o'clock came around and trying to figure out what was going on. Yeah, I mean, you put the body of work out there, and then it's up to the team. So I mean, it was a weird feeling. Always you dreamed of it, like you get drafted, you hang out with your family, you fly out to go to your team the next day. None of that. So it was a different experience for sure. I thought the draft was a reality. I went to Auburn, to get coached by my D-line coach, Ronnie Garner, because of that, because of the guys he put in the league. And my senior season was actually kind of crazy. Like third game, trying to chase down a screen, got hit dead in the chest underneath my shoulder pad. So put me out of the game, my first ever game being put out, and had a chest contusion, which felt like knife stabbed me every time I sneezed or breathed too hard. You realize that the game is what it is, and it's a lot more dangerous than you had ever thought of it, but you have love for it. So it was never like, I'm thinking about going to NFL like while I'm still there. Like, it was like, no, I got enough challenges in today while I'm here. I got the phone call, and then I was on the phone with the Teppers. It all happened so fast. Got to celebrate with my friends outside of the camera view. So it was one of those things where, I got to have a great time, to have the people there that matter the most and come over and, celebrate that moment with me. That was awesome. By the time I was here in Detroit, here in Carolina, heard a little Arizona, and nothing's ever locked in stone until you see it come across the TV and it's locked in. I do actually remember sitting there, and like the first round came, and we knew Cincinnati was going to take Joe Burrow, but like I'm sitting there, and like one of my teammates from college calls me while they're on the clock, and I'm like, dude, this is not a good time. This is not a good time right now. And then it just goes on, and as the draft goes on, I end up finding a home here. I never even stepped foot in the building until we were going to start camp. I think those first few days of training camp, I was like, it's different. It's a lot faster. Guys on the other side of the ball were a lot smarter than I was at the time. And, it's just to adjust into the game. And then to be able to, come to a place like this, and, obviously with having the years under my belt here, I mean, this place has become home to not only me, but my family. And it's so many just great people within this organization. At the time, I didn't know it or what I was coming into, but I've adjusted, and this has become like a family to me. I mean, the work you've done is already done. Just enjoy the moment. I mean, spend the time with your family, those loved ones around you. People truly want to see you do great and enjoy that moment.